Okay, so you guys leveled up, and from what I understand, Wyatt wanted to use rank on demand, which is a virtue that you can utilize at any point where you guys do level up and have a free virtue to spend, where you can force the whole entire party to level up as well. So, with that in mind, I believe you guys are now rank 4, and with that, because we haven't really dived, we are still going to have an actual session today, because from what I remember from all of our respecking and character builds, leveling has never really taken that long. So I will ask you guys, what are you guys planning to do? What are you guys doing? What do you guys get when you rank up? More for the audience, less for me. Even though you guys have played a lot of these classes, or you guys have already kind of pre-looked and you kind of know what you're doing, just for the sake of the people watching, if you ever wanted to say anything about what your options are. Jacob, I know that you have like fucking 20 different skills that you can kind of choose from. In most classes, most vocations get things as they go. You have just an option as to how you would like to build initially on top of all of the meta forms of upgrading throughout the book, like virtues and whatnot. But yes, what are your guys' ideas? What are you trying to work towards? All that jazz. Let me know. Congratulations, you're rank 4.
I'm not going to let you know, actually, Ty. It's going to be a secret. Fuck me.
I get to make people poop themselves.
Yes! The poop tray!
Brown note.
Yeah.
Poop tray, come back!
I get the poopinator sound.
Yeah! There we go, poopinator!
The poopocalypse. This is gonna be
shit brigades coming in, everybody.
Dung eater. He loves to feast upon the dung. Upon the feces, upon
eating.
the poo-poo, the pee-pee poo-poo doo-doo.
We are adults, everybody.
I don't think there's any pee-pee, only poo-poo. Full bladders, empty colons.
Oh, damn. That's an uncomfortable thing. Well, for my level up, for most people's level ups, we get HP and or stamina. Or HP and stamina on certain level ups, and then a virtue replacing the stamina on the other level up. So for level 3, we get a virtue, and level 4, we get stamina. Or Aether. One of the two. So right now, I am inputting my new max HP and damage thresholds for Warden. 18 for 25%. Huzzah.
I already chose level on demand for my virtue, and all I get is brown note harmony in major, which does a performing this in a round where allies suffer a grit and sanity contest, grants a +1 modifier against the contest. You can compound this effect by refining the song, adding +1 per 5 extra stamina to a maximum of 10 modifiers. So
So fundamentally what that means is that as situations get darker, characters will have to save with the oncoming stress, and those moments where your mind can go further to breaking. What the minstrel can do is increase the speed, the passion of their playing, and drastically alleviate, depending on however much they want to, the stress going out to their party. They create a buffer of sorts, granted a lot of modifiers.
As of MR4, I have a few abilities. First one I got was Flourish, and essentially I can expend, now since I'm rank 4, 25 stamina around to grant different effects, giving somebody more speed, more damage dice, re-rolling modifiers.
It's like one of 10 different options, right?
Yes.
You can stack them, you can maneuver them, you can do it on your turn, or you can do it on the enemy's turn.
Indeed. And now that does bring a interesting kind of question, Ty. Flourish does allow me to grant +1 modifier against the grit contest. can I use Harmony in Major and Flourish?
Yes. Flourish exists outside of the, I don't want to say outside of the combat as a, yes, out of the turn spectrum. So like you can use it whenever. If an enemy is about to strike you, you can say you do less damage or you have a reduced chance to hit. Vice versa for your allies. If you want to, if someone was trying to cast something, you could say, I'm going to nullify that spell entirely. Like you can jump in and out, no matter if it's on your guys' turn or the enemy's turn, whenever you may alter the flow of combat as a whole.
So on that too, Harmony in Major, is that a pre-contest, during contest, or post-contest event?
That is when players receive grit as a contest, which typically either means it's either on the enemy's turn, on the environment's turn, or in the cases where the character, like if it's on your turn and you guys fuck up, either like with an ability that forces a grit contest or something that you do that triggers something like stepping on a trap or something, like there are moments where on your turn you can submit to like a lot of stress. Whenever that occurrence does happen, you can interact with that. So if it specifies any time, then so long as a grit contest is being forced upon your allies, you may do that at whim.
Gotcha. It says performing this on a round where ally is suffering a grit contest. So that would be only on our turn, correct?
The enemy's turn as well is counted within the round. So let's say that the enemy goes first and then the allies go first, or go second, and then the environment, and then it's the next round over. Let's say that beginning of the round, enemy does something, hurts an ally, triggers grit, you could use it then. It then goes to your turn, still in the same round, but it's the party's turn. You guys run towards the boss, something happens, maybe you fall into a pit, you're impaled, you suddenly have to save against a grit threshold, a wound threshold, and then your stress counter ticks. You can then use it on that time. Let's say after that, an environmental effect plagues the environment. Could be a convergence, could be something else. There's a litany of spirits roaming across the lands, and they are causing unto stress being forced upon you and your allies. That triggers a sweep of grit contest for your allies. You could then trigger it in that moment. Anytime when that happens, like you can activate it, and then next round. So fundamentally, you could take the concept of round out of there, and so long as it appears, you can do something.
So at MR20, I could effectively give, anytime someone does a grit or sanity contest, plus 14.
Jesus.
It would cost a lot of stamina, but
Yes.
Hey, you're not failing this today.
it's a near impossible. I can make that a little closer to possible. 'Cause
Jesus.
The
that would
bards of
cost
this
me
game are fucking.
It cost me what, 50 and then 9. Oh no, it wouldn't be 12.
I mean,
it wouldn't be, because it's no, because times 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So
I mean, of the crazier things that we've seen you do, like you've amplified, at least whenever you were higher, like you've amplified Jacob's attacks from hundreds to doing thousands. You can drastically alter the tempo of combat, even how you passively do.
I mean, yeah, the ability to give us bypass at this level is huge.
I mean,
That's
even
not
outside
a
of
thing.
that, like
I did
their
that,
flourish.
For 95 stamina, I can give you 15 plus 15 to a grit and stamina contest.
Wow.
High end, I think you can kind of ensure that you might have 250 to 300 stamina,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
with ways to reduce it as well.
Yeah, Matt had that. Had 250, I want to say.
I mean, Whelp had almost 300 at one point.
That is another point I want to bring up. Whenever you guys build your vocations, you guys, as you guys have seen, you have so much free range as to the compounding ways that you can build outwards. It's like there's like a layered skill tree of systems. So like, if you'd like, because even the vocations themselves, like as a bard, for example, the only limiter to how much you can throw something at an ally is how you conceivably build yourself and the gauges, the reservoirs that you have, your stamina reservoir. Do you want to burst it instantaneously? Just use a bunch of big or a mass amount of things really, really close to now? Or do you want to stretch it over the course of combat? If you want to go in a blaze of glory, you can. If you want to stretch that out for like a foreseeable future, you can. You guys in the combat, we've done like a year of like playing combat. You guys have pushed the limits of your mind, like nearly breaking your mind to do like unordinary amounts of damage with your will dice. Because you can choose to. So there's a mechanic that exists in the game called will dice. There's multiple things you could do with this. Like if you fall close to death, you could instantly save from it, no contest, jump up from the grave. But you're gonna come back with stress. If you've suffered like a really, really big wound, this will compound and add more stress to whenever you're getting up. So you can only take so much. But in the same vein, you can push past human barriers. And this fucker over here in the combat test.
Whoa,
this
settle
guy.
down. Settle down, okay? I didn't do anything wrong. I played the game how you wrote it out, and I beat you.
So you could fundamentally, depending on how you build, like you can cleave 1/3 of a boss's health, 50% of a boss's health, even potentially one shot a boss. Yeah. I mean, from the map that we did one time, he was like 60,000 damage or some crazy bullshit.
If we had the correct team set up, the way that we built it out with a butcher and a few other things, we were able to get an attack upwards to 60 to 70,000 damage on a swing. That would hit no matter what because of different virtues and stuff like that. But outside of that, that's not here now. That's in the past. Now we're looking at us, looking at a minstrel, a nightshade, a great old one, and a vicar. I'll tell the people what's going on with the nightshade.
Please, yeah. Your class has a lot of.
It's got a lot of shit. It's got a lot of
really early.
Yeah. So Nightshades are part of the Brigand class, and they have something called Lethal Repertoire, which allows them to choose a secondary skill set called Lethal Arts on certain level sets. So 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, and so on and so forth, all the way up to choosing 11 different Lethal Arts. Some of these Lethal Arts have different combat abilities, others have different roleplay uses, so on and so forth. The first one that I've chosen at level 2 was one that was called Ventriloquist, which allowed me to change my voice to be a perfect match of someone that I had heard talk for at least a minute, which has some roleplay implications later on in the campaign, more than likely. The secondary one that I'm choosing is called Lethal Art Tear at the Wounds, which gives me +2 damage per rank when attacking against a bleeding enemy or bleeding target. To compound this, to give me the ability to get this damage, I'm also taking the virtue Bleeding Edge, which with the use of daggers allows me to bleed an enemy with one attack. So my secondary attack gets that Tear at the Wounds buff on it. Yeah. The Lethal Arts also have a secondary gauge called Adrenaline that you can build up through attacking things with one-handed swords or through other means, or one-handed weapons or other means. And most of them that are reaction, secondary action, free round, or you have to choose to use them, use either adrenaline and speed or just adrenaline to do so. There are some that are coming up later on that use a lot of adrenaline to do a lot of damage, others that do stuff to allow you to get through certain checks, like giving you stealth without any contest or others to give you a guaranteed critical hit on one of your next main actions. There are 20 lethal arts to choose from, and you get 11 that you can get if you get all the way up to level 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah, I guess mine's kind of short, so I can kind of explain what I'm doing real quick. So, Great Old One, very, very simple level up for the vocation. So I get Glyph of the Elder 2, which is just an extra +2 to my sanity and grit permanently for the rest of the campaign, which is good because that will allow me to use more things later that are sanity draining. Yeah, I also get Passage 2, which is just giving enemies disadvantage. So a lot of what the Great Old One does is it plays with the enemy's sanity just as an entire whole, right? So you're playing with their sanity, you're playing with their combat actions, and you're kind of debuffing them throughout the entirety of combat, and that's kind of the main purpose of a lot of the skills that you get, is just debuffing. So right now I can give them a -2 modifier on everything that they do, and then also now they have a disadvantage, which makes it really, really hard to basically do anything to the party, and makes it really, really easy for the party to do literally anything to the enemy. And that's really all you get for Great Old One for this level up. But I decided that since I wasn't really doing much with Great Old One this level up, I was going to take a exit into the next highway over and go down Hell's Kitchen route. And we're becoming a chef. This is where it gets really interesting. Yeah, so
I do want to say, so within the game there are these things known as virtues, and there's a thing called occupational virtues. Of virtues that exist, you could think of these as feats similar to D&D. There's probably maybe about like 150, give or take, like virtues that exist. There's like about 100 occupational virtues, give or take, that actually exists. Occupational virtues are classes, alternate classes that you could spec into. So if you wanted to become like a miner, if you wanted to become a blacksmith, if you wanted to become what have you, there's a multitude of different types of occupations that you could spec into. As you rank up one item and gain another, you're ranking all of these things, these choices up within this tree simultaneously. You can get and maximize a maximum of 3 different traits from every single occupation that you get into. And these things are incredibly powerful. A master blacksmith, we were talking about it earlier, if you have armor that's like 50 or 100, you could make obscenely legendary armor that can go like 500, 700 armor as like a defensive score. Which is fucking obscene. You can allow weapons to exceed damage beyond people's wildest dreams. Even for the game as a raw, most mythic items that you can maybe stumble across do not have the limits as to what you can make organically, especially once you're diving into virtues and then pairing that with occupational virtues, choosing your origins, which has a litany of modifiers to you making things and doing things. Josh has taken a certain love towards food, which is a massively deep crafting system, but is a massive bonus to the party. So go ahead, describe your plans.
Yeah, so I actually picked up in the cooking vocational virtue. I picked up specifically the chef. That gives me a +2 modifier right now, and then that will build up throughout time to both an advantage and I think a +4 modifier at the end of the day, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so instantaneously, right off the bat, I already have a +6 modifier to cooking, just based off of that. So I should be able to fully craft every single meal that I make without worry that I'm gonna mess it up or anything. Theoretically. 1 second.
Which is also really nice because as you're going through, there's a multitude of basic ingredients. There's probably like maybe, I don't know, like 30, 50 different basic ingredients you can make to mix and match. Every single ingredient gives a variety of different buffs. Specific creatures like bosses drop very obscenely powerful items. We talked about it a lot back in the past, but there's a creature that has an umbilical cord. If you were to consume it, it can literally grant you immortality for a certain amount of rounds. You can gain obscene, like magical abilities from sometimes consuming some of these things, and then more so the exotic items that you can come across, these rare mythical ingredients that have multiple tiers, each one harder to find than the last. But these things can fortify the skin with like stone-like structures. It can allow your mind to tap into eldritch signals to be able to perceive things beyond what you should be able to perceive. These things radically change the game in crazy, crazy ways, even flooding somebody with large amounts of health or cleansing hysteria or what have you, buffing your stats beyond what they should normally be. I have personally seen, at least within combat, turn the tides of battle to the point of where some of the most deadliest things I have thrown at these bastards hasn't even really been able to touch them because of the buffs that they've gotten through food. It really is obscene in the best way possible.
Yeah, and there's a couple like really cool things that I'm definitely intending on doing. We have things that give us charmed dice. We have things that give us extra DL, not extra DL, that remove DL. Things that can give us more AL. And then things that increase our actual like core stats. We can increase core stats through cooking. So it's really just a party buff. Just like, you know, sit down, create a meal. What you think you're gonna need for the day, cook it, right? Send it on the way. That's my goal, is to be a buffer and a debuffer now. So,
party mom.
Yeah, camp mom.
Esna, what have you dove into, my vicar?
I am digging because I remember my original path. I talked with you about going a different direction, and I'm trying to remember what that is. Because I know you made a virtue for Vicar.
Oh, are you referring to the one that okay, so you're choosing virtues. You're most likely talking about sanctimonious adept, maybe? Let me see.
Yes, you.
Sanctimonious.
I believe I started the game with that one.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that's going to allow you to heavily reduce the cost of you using hex or evocations. Yes, Sanctimonious Adept. Should be on page 259. Reduce Aether cost by 1 per MR for Master Rank. So you're 4, so that will reduce for an additional 4. I also would like to say, towards the viewers, how you build your character actually has depth. You can gain special abilities, you can gain mitigation based on how you're speccing. So in this case, we have someone who is an evoker. Same thing with hexcasters, spellcasters versus priests, sort of a thing. Evokers, they don't have as much mitigation towards casting as a caster. Their hopes of casting really devastating, massive, tide-altering things, it's not exactly as possible. So they have to go towards the more small spells. The benefit to how they cast, though, is they can almost cast for free if they build right. They have something called discernment, something that you've probably heard if you've caught up to this episode. Discernment is the strengthening of the mind. It is your will. It is your tact. It is wisdom. As you're bolstering this aspect of yourself, you are able to mitigate certain pools whenever you're trying to evoke, if you're trying to cast. So every single point that you have within that score acts as a mitigator. So let's say that you have 10 points in it. That's going to reduce something that costs 20 to cast and makes it 10. And then this minus 4, drop it to 6. So instead of casting for 20, you're casting for 6. Now, obviously, there's many ways to drastically spike this, and as we get up to higher ranks, something that could cost 30 could be free theoretically, which can be exceedingly powerful if you have ways to drastically amplify lower tier spells and cast them on whims. But yeah, hexcasters have ways of just cutting the cost in half, reducing it further by this way or that way, casting for free. But all right, well, if everyone is indeed ready, does anyone need extra time? I don't want to force anything. I will also say, Aesna, there is a spell called Sanctimonious Adept, but not Sanctimonious Adept. Afata Scriptus, I believe it's called. There's 2 different virtues for it. I don't think they'll be necessarily beneficial to you now, considering that your passage only has 1 passage, but that 240 damage ability that you did, like, that was 60 damage.
Where you can read more than 1 passage?
Yes. So, like, that is a gate. If you could find manuscripts that have multiple passages, that was 60 damage initially. But for the viewers, how passages work is, let's say something costs 60, like passage 1. A manuscript can have up to 4 passages. You're reading them as the rounds go on. So the first round, it's 60 damage, and then it increases. The next one is 120. The next one is 180. The next one is 240. What this does is it basically allows 2 rounds to turn into 1. And you have another thing which allows you to turn something which should be a main action into a secondary action. So fundamentally, what this allows someone to do once they fully max this out is you could compress 4 rounds into a single round to do a full reading of a manuscript. Which could be like 700 damage. Now, from what you've seen within like a previous episode, 60 turning into 240 damage, 700 would be fucking insane. That could, I think the math behind it was like you could reach upwards of like 2,000 to 6,000 damage or something, depending on what you're striking with. Obscene. Especially if you're dealing with weakness, because that multiplies your damage by an additional 2. So, manuscripts, fairly powerful, or can be anyway.
Yeah, that's definitely the one that I want to take. Because thank you for reminding me about that. Because my last build that I tried out in testing was the mounted virtue with
yes.
Drop down attack. And
yes.
When you told me more about how you've been developing the Vickers, I wanted to take it a different. And that's definitely a preferred way to go.
So I do want to specify this towards to the people listening. There's a system that exists natively in the game that allows you to mount creatures. There's a whole process as to how you can keep on them, mount up, brace, and even as soon as you get on top of them. So
in combat.
In combat.
You can do it outside of combat as well. It's just not going to be as effective.
I mean, but you can mount on top of creatures.
It depends on your motives.
Brothel is indeed a vice. But yes, you can. Oh my god! But you can mount on top of creatures, and there's many different abilities that you can get, virtues, feats that you can spec into that allow you to guarantee hits, guarantee crits. You can, if you're falling, for example, under a certain amount of fall distance, you are able to convert half of that fall damage into a drop attack. So what they were doing, which was really, really cool, at the beginning of the game, you have a variety of different special weapons that you could take with you. They chose something called a mage hand. Their hands were mutilated to allow for a quantum jump. So what they would do is that they would run up to an enemy, teleport themselves high within the air, basically do a falling strike, and this would land them on top of a creature, deal fall damage, which beats through armor. It's called bypass damage, ignores any form of defensive capabilities. And then on top of that, you have the residual damage from the strike going into the enemy themselves, which fairly powerful. And now that they're technically mounted, they have guaranteed strikes, they may have guaranteed crits, they may have different ways to compound damage. There's a whole play style around fall damage, or falling, so to speak, and they were immune to any residual fall damage that they might take.
Yeah, I still use that tactic because I still have the mage hand. But I don't have that glyph that allowed me to go higher and not get hurt and I don't have the mounts, so I can't stay up there. So I still have the option to do it, but I haven't yet.
You did it against.
So yeah, I want to.
Yeah. So you wanted to go more
I want to go with the invocation direction for now.
Okay. And
I might
are
get
you
that later, though.
Are you wanting to go more towards the reduction towards your evocation with Sanctimonious Adept, or did you want to go with Aphotic Purpose?
Aphotic Purpose. I'm pretty sure Sanctimonium was my first one.
Oh, okay. If that is indeed the case, then that will be on page 152. Aphotic Cryptus 1 and 2. Okay, that's nice. So, Aphotic Cryptus 1 reduced the manuscript Aether cost by 20%. And
252, not 152.
252, yes, sorry.
Oh.
Yes, and then the second one is the more broken version of this. So you reduce the manuscript Aether cost by, so automatically now just everything is half cost, and then on top of that, you can read passages as a secondary action.
Ooh.
So that is definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm gonna be switching mics here soon because I know this one's struggling.
Okay.
For sure.
My
Now,
entire headset's
you can. This doesn't mean that you can't read multiple passages despite only having one passage. You're just going to be repeating the same story. But if you find a manuscript that has multiple passages, then every single new passage that you read, passage 2, 3, 4, those will compound the damage so that you're doing even more. So that's 60 plus the 120. Within a single round, now you're doing 180.
Oh, heck yeah. Find Curious George and read that.
Isn't that what my book's called?
It's
My book's called Curious George, right?
Wow. It's a great story.
The Eldritch monstrosity that is
Curious George meets the Eldritch
walks
monstrosity.
around with Haster.
Hey, even Eldritch monstrosities can be curious, okay? They don't know everything.
Some would believe that they do, or most things.
Some would be fooled. You can learn something new every day.
As we taper off, since everyone seems to be kind of done, does anyone want to give us a quick recap on what happened last session?
Oh my gosh, last session. I think it's White's turn to give a quick recap.
I think it is. I will take my turn.
Push it somewhere else. Oh, okay.
It was a grim night. The Feywilds clashed. The Leshy screamed. We had taken his beloved, the wood, the heartwood from his heart, struck him down in front of him, pushed him into an unholy rage. We prepare to meet our ends. The wood ablaze, his rot inside our hearts. But then, like a bastion of light, shining down from the heavens, the words of an angel from a half-goat mouth. Esna spoke forth from their holy manuscript and banished the foul Leshy back to the Feywood for his soul to forever linger. And then the party got themselves backed up and put together. You know, Warren was there to make sure everybody was okay. And then we got real good. Then we backtracked to the old house. And as we got close, the old lady looked at Esna and asked for her price. But of course, only departing not that long ago, we were not able to find her such succulent souls that she bid us to. Begging off this price, we had her put it to our tab. Conversations unfurled, none you ever want to have in the Feywilds. Ones that drag you deeper into their plots and their plans. By the end of it, a man unbeknownst to us, but one who had wronged that woman in front of the oldest house, was slain in our stead. To keep us alive, his endless torment was cut short. Maybe it was a good deal for us all. But our final interaction was to take over her hearth, her home, take over that foul fey dwelling, and take it into our world. As we part, she laughs. It rings in our minds, and as we round the tree once more, we find ourselves back in the Wrothe graveyard, shocked with the event that we had just witnessed.
I'm getting the vapors. Oh my god.
Hey, let me chuck you some charm dice, my guy. Yeah.
Huh? You get more than one? Damn it.
He's getting 2.
I gotta get myself a cool accent.
We have indeed come back from the Feywild. There is very odd things happening within this abode. I would like to grab that camera by the gosh dang neck and turn it to the nameless one. Because something odd is kind of in your room. Despite the area of which you described, there is one strange malady. Before you lies a gaping void within the 3-dimensional space, this box that now sits around you. Its edges are tendrils that lick the air, every single undulation bearing barb and whisper. The longer that you peer into this cradle of darkness, the more you feel it narrowing back at you. You can see the twisting of kind of like the fabric of reality, like a distortion, warping the space, the shapes, the forms. Your focus begins to narrow, your vision tunneling as the darkness begins to encapsulate you around the fringe sides of your sight. And before you know it, there is no room. You're standing within a void, a place devoid of any sound. Now, should you look down, there is a black fluid coating the ground, kind of like think L from Stranger Things. This fluid which kind of encapsulates, like just wraps around the floor, dark in every single direction. It is like you're standing atop an ebon lake. The only objects you see within this void are blank white pages stained by this fluid. Whispers begin to permeate and slowly surface to the top of that water. You can see these bubbles of sorts begin to rise, and within a couple moments, about 10 feet away from you, you see something which seems to look pale, just off in the distance. What would you like to do?
It's a child?
Oh man. Oh yeah, is it the girl in the lake? No, get over it. There's a girl in the lake. We're in a lake.
Is it a child?
A child? Yeah. There's only one thing worse than a rapist. A child. No.
God. All right, I guess I'll walk towards this pale permeation in this endless black void of a sea that we are in.
You walk forward, and what you eventually find is this type of object. It's a spherical form with kind of indents in certain portions of it. It's kind of light similar to a watermelon, but it's covered with white pages wrapped around it like a gift. As soon as you try to pick this up, you notice that hands reach out of the water and grab yours on the outside, trying to pull you and this object into the water. You look a little bit above that object and you see a girl within a lake. Her face distorted, her eyes hollowed. She tries to speak and bubbles begin to spring forth to the surface. You're going to lose 10% of your THP. Water begins to fill your throat before spewing back. The water, as soon as your vomit hits the floor, begins to disperse her and ripples. Her arms sever. You lift up and nearly fall backwards, the arms still connected. It only takes a moment. This interaction which causes you to blink. And before you notice, the void is gone. You're in the room, and within your hands is a severed head. The severed head of the Piper. This is the head of a king among rats. Once per day, you may use this head. In fact, you can open its mouth even, which will allow this thing to release a cacophonous bellow of hundreds of screams. Creatures that are near you will be struck for 20 bleed damage and 80 mind damage as their internal organs rupture from the interior and their brains melt.
Yes, free severed head.
Yeah, free severed head.
Fuck yeah.
Just what I want for Christmas.
But yes.
Hell yeah, free severed head.
It's awesome.
Yeah, great. Oh, yeah, lovely. The Nameless one is definitely doing well with their whole entire shtick of hating whispers, voices, and also receiving a random object from a void. They're doing great.
Oh wait, are you being ungrateful for the free severed head that you just got?
Oh no, the severed head's great. The
Well, if
severed
you
head
don't
is
want
fantastic.
it, give it to me.
Into the void it goes.
I can take it.
Garbage disposal for fleshy items.
Nah, I as a
I don't know if you noticed, I'm building a person. I got a hand and now a severed head if you give it to me.
I as a player, and I have a hand too, somewhere.
I will send you this link so that you will have this with you wherever you go.
Yeah, but I as a player absolutely love the severed head. But the Nameless one, it's probably just like, what the hell just happened? Why does it always happen to me? Right? Why does the weird stuff always happen?
Jacob,
Huh?
you notice that there is indeed a chest, the very same coffer that was located in your previous abode. Strangely, you don't see any silhouettes, any shades of former memories gone rogue.
Deal with another thing. Thank you. Okay. All
You
right.
hear a scratching and a tapping upon that, not cellar door, knocking at your chamber door. You find that in the coffer, something is trying to claw towards you.
I know you're in there. Oh, fine. All right. Warren will walk over and open it slightly to see if anything happens.
Crotch! No,
Don't do that!
you see a couple of fingers just flay itself outwards in between the cracks, just kind of moving in sine wave like formation.
Don't make this the thing. Hello?
It does give a little hello.
Hello to you too. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna grab it. Where do I put you? Like, I don't have a pocket anymore. Like, here, I'm just gonna throw it into my side bag. Like, stay in there. Don't fuck around my things.
You find that the cloak upon your side, as soon as you kind of nest this within this little bag that you have, this satchel of sorts, one of the hands just kind of reaches out and kind of like squeezes it tight, kind of closing your satchel closed. You have a handbag.
Shut up. Shut up. How dare you give me that? That's great, but shut up. I wish I made that up. Fuck you.
Quiet.
I just want a handbag that it's like a demi plane that's just full of endless hands. Every time you can't store anything in it other than hands, and every time you reach in and pull it out, you just have a severed hand. Like I feel like that would be so good, but
that would absolutely be something that you give like a level 2 or 3 party, and you give them just a little bit of space to put like a few things in there, and then afterwards like, oh, you can't put anything else in there. What do you mean? It's full? Yeah. They pull something out. It's a hand. They just keep pulling hands out.
I unironically really love that handbag. I'm adding this to the next expansion. It's all about items.
This is the next uncanny item.
You got a good point there. Because like you could literally, like, if the party really needed like a bag of holding or a handy haversack or something like that, and like you wanted to give it to them, but you wanted them to like pay for it, they just find it in a dungeon and then they never like look at what's in it, and they go to put something in, oh no, it's full, and then someone's like, oh well, turn it inside out, let's see what's in it, and it's literally the largest bag, and they have to start fighting themselves to get out of this pile of hands.
Just a mountain of hands comes out, like, oh my god,
Jesus Christ! When you turn it inside out, they all come out. You can't stop them halfway, so it's just like an endless gauntlet of hands.
Close it! I can't!
I'm sure there was a Llamas with
You'll never
Hats
need a hand
episode
again.
about this.
Right, and
It's actually a bag of devouring, and it's just been eating people's hands this whole time.
quiet.
Yeah, sorry.
Your room is quite humble, as described before, but it's reminiscent of a time that you did indeed cherish. There is a coffer of sorts. It's a little bit more strange than a normal box. Something is kind of off about it. It's kind of bulging around the sides. Very rustic. Has some adornments of cloth. But as you kind of grace your hand atop of it, you notice that there is a little bit of music that begins to seep through. Would you wish to interact with this in any way?
Oh, absolutely. I'm slapping a thick tendril on top of it. See if it'll keep playing music.
As soon as you tap, there is an echoed response, a complementary form of like a counterpart within a musical composition, a rat-a-tat-tat kind of copying your, or echoing and building on top of your previous slam.
I'll like with two of my tendrils start playing the violin and like a and tapping, and then after it's got the rhythm, then I'll just start into another like string of melody.
There was a concert playing in one of the rooms of this house. Alongside that, the beats of Jumanji. There's an uproarious amount of music which is indeed erupting. Your room, strangely enough, like you thought that it was constructed in a very odd way, but you're kind of understanding it now. Alongside the walls is a dampening type of measure to kind of absorb sound, but not even just absorb sound. The room is constructed and angled in such a way to kind of create something that is very acoustically amplifying to the sound itself. I forget the word for it. It starts with an A. But it is very well suited should you wish to play music within here. It better suits the sound. But yes, would you?
Yeah, if after I've gotten my fun out of it, I'll see. Does it have like a latch or something to open?
It doesn't seem to have a latch, but it does have like an unsealed top. It's not like a sarcophagus where you could just like plop, like kind of like pick it up, but you can. It's seemingly just kind of like lift it up or something. It was made with like a high artisanal type of make to it. Perhaps there's like maybe a button on the side that will like pop something up or something. Like you're having a slight tough time figuring it out. But it was made in a very avant-garde-esque way to not have a traditional handle of sorts.
I will fish a tendril underneath the edge and begin to open it.
The box will indeed open, and as it does open, you hear a cacophony of instruments of the likes of which you've never heard before. You hear chants of choirs that sound like young children, old men, falsettos climbing up to the skies, along with something very unnatural and inhuman blaring in the background. Alongside this, you were hearing just a litany of different strings, a ton of different horns. It's not necessarily deafening, but it's not exactly the nicest thing to hear either. And within the noise, you can kind of hear a dissonance. There's an off note. You can't really see anything in the box. Nothing is perceivably there. But you think that if you were to move, something is telling you, if you were to move towards this dissonance, something is there that is not supposed to be there.
Does it feel threatening?
You can't tell.
Not supposed to be there. Well, if something jumps out, we're both shitting our pants. So I get a little closer. My bow prepared.
As you get close and your tendril begins to reach down, you feel nothing but the bottom surface of this coffer until a little bit of heavy weight, individual segments of something. You pull out and you find that you've picked up one of these, and it seems to be a crown. This coffer seems to be full with a little bit of sovereign in it.
Heck yeah. I'll snake a tendril in there and kind of make a loopy shape and then gather it all up straight to the flesh pockets.
Oh yeah.
How much crown and sovereign do I find?
I forget the exact amount. I think it's
is it the one what I got?
Yeah, it should be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I got it written down in the diary. I'll just scroll up. 3.58 crown. Or in a 8 crown that session.
Your room is filled with nice flowers, nice grass, the smell of honey. No carpets anywhere, so you could piss on the lawn as you please.
Like a woodsy church.
Yes. There's it is a perfect enmeshing of Gothic architecture and a vibrant, lush flooring texture, which kind of scrambles alongside the walls. Many potted plants.
You can't say that. Because I have this entire image of fucking Esna, just like, oh, is this refined person of the church, and you just said, piss on the lawn there. Sister Mary, piss on that lawn.
I was like, I'm not doing that, but thanks for telling me that. I thought you were gonna say, so like my dirty feet can't mess it up, but whatever.
What, you don't want to piss on the lawn?
There is a residual heat. The center of the room grows a little warmer You guys will eventually be drawn to the living quarters, the common rooms, as it were. The fire that was created by one of you still seems to persist. It's not regulated to a singular room. It is a massive hearth. And within it is a lady, very similar to the lady that was at the house. The headmistress seems to just be sitting there, tending to the fire. Above her, you see these clouds, these nebulae, endless stars branching across. You seeing whole entire galaxies being snuffed from existence, others being born, supernovas, black holes. Every single time she stirs this pot that is nested by the hearth, you see a circular motion begin to stir within the sky above. Different locations, snapshots of areas of space itself, moving to different locations.
Holy shit. Twice knocked, damn.
I'll stare in awe.
It does not take long, but eventually her stirring does indeed stop. And when it does, the front door shoots open. And what you see is is kind of outside from the perspective of an old abandoned house that was located within the graveyard.
Excuse me, it's not abandoned. I live there.
An old drab, horrendously.
For how long?
How long have we been gone? No!
20 years.
No! Can't believe you did this to us. I mean, since it's familiar, I'll walk out. I'll walk out into the graveyard like, oh my god, we're back already. Wow.
I'm
kept your promise.
I'm going to bow to do a court curtsy towards the lady of the house and flick my little deer tail with a puff of white fluff and run out.
She'll send you a smile, her eyes black, her teeth kind of speckling with color similar to like a Cheshire cat of sorts, a rainbow within the glint of her teeth.
God, she's got pearly whites for somebody that eats them. Is everybody else out?
Would everybody else like to go out?
The nameless one follows the vicar around like a lost puppy at this point.
Boris will lift up his bush and take long strides out of the house with a tendril waving goodbye, all the time playing some gentle background music.
The door closes, and as soon as it does, should you turn around, that's fucking Warren's house. That's fucking Warren's house.
Wait, my house is the house that we just walked out of?
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I had shit in there.
Pat Warren on the back and say,
I had shit in there. No.
If you reopen the door, you will see your normal accoutrements. It is still your office.
I will open
You
it
imagine
up
if the
for
other
him
guy was in there?
and then look at it.
Oh my god! If fucking Rothville was in there with the child, they're just dead now. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, yeah, because Rothwell was babysitting, wasn't he? Oh,
Rothville
it was.
Oh,
yeah.
You told him he was babysitting for 3 hours.
Yeah, I gotta. Okay, we actually don't know how long it's been.
No, you don't.
Does it look?
Is Russell in there?
Yeah. Does it look crazy?
You
Is anything going on?
You see 4, 5 bottles of like wine that is just kind of like rolled around the floor, and there doesn't seem to be a trace of Rothfell or Alva or what was the weasel called?
Hold on.
Alva and Alma?
Alma.
It's NM.
Yes.
Oh,
I thought
NM.
it was NM.
NM.
It is
Alva.
NM. Yeah.
ANAM ALVA.
Alva and Anam.
Alva.
Yeah, they seem to be someplace else rather than here.
This fucking drunk.
Alpha means, but NM means spirit. I do know that.
We've been gone for less than what? It seems like an hour, and this guy just decides to drink up 4 of my bottles of wine. I was saving those for a special occasion. Do I know what? No, but it was special. Do I have a lot to celebrate in my life? No, but I might have.
The nameless one
I look at
immediately.
Lauren quite sadly.
Don't look at me sad. I'm an old man. All right. I lost a lot. There's a lot of things that just make me upset, and there's not a lot that makes me happy anymore. Okay.
I suppose you can't celebrate burying dead bodies.
That's also another thing. There's not a lot of joy in my work.
The nameless one writes down in their journal and shows it to
Celebrate.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The nameless one writes down in their journal and shows it to the vicar, and it's just like, I had some concerns about trusting the child to an alcoholic. It seems my suspicions are confirmed. Where is the kid?
I just hang my head and kind of look around the room and then turn back to them and put my hands close to my chest in almost a bashful sort of like guilty way and say, the Feywilds kind of mess with time. I'm afraid it hasn't been just an hour. I do not know where they are.
It hasn't?
Let's go to the city.
Hey, Wyatt.
Wait.
Yes.
Where are you looking right now? Where would you say you're looking?
If Warren just walked out and everyone kind of stopped to talk, he would have stepped to the side of the doorway and just been looking at the entrance of the graveyard. And he plays background music and zones out of the conversation.
The world is a much grayer pallor. You don't hear screams, but there's an ambient sound of resonance that is quaking, pulsating within the area around you. You don't see ravens at all, like you kind of almost usually do here in the graveyard. And there seems to be a form of pressure that compounds upon you. You look towards the sky and you see this sort of blackish rain. And after a little bit, you might kind of pluck at your skin, this residue kind of coating you. For a brief half second, you see flashes of a memory. You don't know what that memory is, but you are receiving thousands of them.
Just kind of like into my mind, or am I like seeing them unfold in front of me?
Oh, these are being implanted into your mind.
Yeah.
Every single raindrop that collides with you, you are getting like a resonance of something, but it's far too quick to have any sense be made from them.
The party will hear the background music get kind of slower and more melancholic just by his reaction, and then the leaves in the bush will visibly wilt. But I think
Warren,
all he could do.
Warren will look back and just see what's going on, since he's pretty used to some kind of background music being continuously played. So I think he would understand like something's happening. So he'll look back and just see what's going on with Boris. Like, hey, Boris, what's happening? You're wilting?
Boris, in kind of a wispy voice, will say, I've had other memories, but this is far too much.
What do you mean? Where are you getting memories from?
The bush will kind of like lean backwards into the side, almost as if someone was anatomically looking up, and they'll say, "The rain, the drops, they carry memories to us."
The rain.
You see nothing. It is a very clear day. Maybe a little overcast, but you see nothing.
What? What rain? What are you talking about, Warren? Not Warren, Boris. Warren, what are you doing? No, you idiot, Warren.
You're actually just a memory in my head talking about yourself outside of my head.
Let's go talk to Warren. When are we going to tell him that he's dead?
He'll kind of take a few moments and say, It's all more than I'm used to. I should go see him. And the music will stop and he'll start to toddle off.
Wait, Boris, where are you going? Who are you gonna go see?
He'll be moving in kind of a daze.
This does not answer.
No, he will not answer.
Do we want to follow to see where he's going? Do we want to look? What do we? I think we need to find the child in Wrotheville, but we also need to follow Boris. We can't just leave him alone like this. I've never seen him like this.
Is Boris heading towards town?
He seems to be heading and drifting towards the marketplace, at least from the direction that, like, you guys have traveled multiple times. He's moving in that general direction.
I will nod and say he's moving towards town. If we find anyone, it'll likely be in there. Keep an eye out.
Okay.
How'd a crit fail a discernment on just the surrounding area? Fuck.
Yeah, you got one.
Damn, you got one.
I got one. I thought it was a crit. Oh, jeez.
That is wild.
That is fucked. All right.
I would like to roll perception to see if there's anything I can make of, like...
You have charm proficiency. What would you like to see?
Anything that indicates where they might have gone, if there was any trouble, stuff like that. Like, did it look like the house was left in a calm state?
You are a vicar. Your eyes have been trained multitudes of times to kind of keep an eye on things of religious text, scripture, even perceive the throes of emotions, just having to navigate around Benedict and deal with the other people who come into your office and demand multitudes of things. You've never fancied yourself a tracker. It's never really been your profession. No. And as such, you are kind of less well versed with the ability to be able to track. Even with your uncanny gaze, it seems to be eluding you, like where they could have possibly gone.
Oh, yeah. Can I use my survival modifier on that?
You can.
Oh, okay. Because that changes things. So let's see here. Is survival, if I can find survival, that'd be great. That is not it. Let me check real quick. Where?
You could roll dis and then add your modifier with another roll.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm looking for survival on the thing. Oh, it's because I had it open. That's why I couldn't see it. Okay. That makes more sense now. I was just like, where the hell is survival at? All right. So, yeah. All right. So dis, and then /R 1d4. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, I'll give you this. You recognize the mission that's currently at hand. It has been stated. You don't know where the child has gone. You care a lot for this child. It was made very clear that eyes were supposed to be kept on the child, and you do not exactly know where they are. You look at the traces on the ground, and you see that some footprints still kind of remain. There's dust that has settled, and there's lighter areas kind of showcasing that there has been like a ruffled amount of footprints. You're not exactly sure how long, but even the residual falling dust that's kind of accumulated on the side of the bottle, it's more than it should be. You look towards the roof. The roof has slight cracks in it. Warren's abode isn't exactly the nicest, so you're trying to discern whether this is maybe much older with a natural accumulation of dust, or if this is accelerated by something else. Outside of everything, you do notice that
on blast.
you do notice that some things were a little bit unkempt. Things were quickly moved to the side. You notice like the pantry is open. There doesn't seem to be much in it outside of flour. There's a little bit of residual tallow. It's like a loaf of bread. There's not a lot of ingredients to make a lot of things.
Eat all my goddamn food.
But of all these things, you begin to kind of surmise that perhaps they have gone somewhere. Whatever it was, it seemed kind of urgent. Maybe it was food, but considering the time that it is currently, if it was a quick pit stop somewhere, they'd be back. You're not exactly sure what, but your survival instincts is telling you that something feels a little bit off.
Yeah, but survival goes into tracking, right?
Yes.
So, and there's tracks clearly on the ground.
There is tracks, but it kind of vanishes after the graveyard. You notice that it trails somewhere towards the similar direction that Boris was heading, but that's about it. There's a lot of people that frequent through these areas, so any relative trace would kind of get drastically dispersed. For you, anyway.
So Nameless One is going to write down in their journal, follow Boris, and if we catch wind of the child, then I'll break off and go find the child.
We
fucking can't believe those meetings last for having a fucking house in this day and age. I tried my best. God damn it.
You done your best, and you're doing great.
Apparently it's not good enough for this guy over here. Sorry that I'm not a homemaker, damn it.
You guys are heading to Boris, or you're heading in the general direction of that?
We're following, yeah.
We're following until there's sign of the child, then the Nameless One is specifically going to break off. If anybody follows the Nameless One at that point, that's up to them.
You notice
Nameless One, but I will keep an eye on the town.
Okay. Cool. So we will go to Boris. You guys are probably following like a little bit of maybe like a 1 to 2 minute pace behind him. You could see where he's going. But he is very much ahead of you, moving with like a haste. Over some time, Boris, you begin to look at the skies. You are seeing tethers. Strands which are kind of linked from the sky and kind of hanging down. The things connected seem like people. They're floating in the middle of the air, hovering above the clouds, or hovering above the town itself proper. The further and closer that you get towards the heart of town, you're able to see over some large buildings. And as the spires kind of pass you, you notice a gigantic, ever-shifting orb. This mass, which is kind of like a ball of fluids, multitudes of ripples just kind of scattering over it. And every now and again, from a distant area within the town, you can see these husks rising up towards the sky, and slowly absorbing into this giant mass. You're here at a time relatively close to night, and despite that, you still feel like you should see somebody. There's not a lot of people in the town right now, at least that are outside.
He will not mind. He will keep an eye up towards the sky and in front of him as he continues to walk.
You'll eventually round the corner and you find Wee's office. The door is cracked open. There's
with not following his normal kind of protocol. Tindril will snake out inside the door, and as soon as it makes contact with the inside wall, I'll leave a small run of roses onto it, just to announce my presence and open the door the rest of the way.
There is a trail of bloodied flowers, these flesh-like constructs which begin to grow underneath your feet and slowly move deeper into the house. Wee is not at the front door, and his residual husks of teeth and bodies are not hearkening to you from the sides of the house. The place looks decrepit, as it always does, but there is strangely a sign of slight unlife. The further... Yeah.
Before I leave the door, I'll close it all of the way. Is there any kind of like barring or anything like that on the inside?
There is. Roll me a perception. Give me a discernment perception.
Perception, none. I do have a question. I've got noted here. I have a -5 to all stats, but I can't remember if that was due to the what I.
No, you still have
that. Okay.
Yeah. This is a normal contest.
Okay. Oh. I will roll just a. It's just easier just to roll it flat then.
You will succeed. So despite the piles of stagnant flesh, these hardened husks that are just coating the floor and everything, you manage to be able to look underneath each one. And eventually, after you kind of go towards like the more reasonable, you find a sense of organization within the chaos, and you reach underneath one of these layered parts, and you find that there is this crowbar of sorts. You think to yourself very clearly, there is a latch here. If you were to kind of place it affixed to the door, you could potentially stop something from getting through.
If it's not too complex, then he'll snake a tendril out and drag the crowbar into position.
After you latch it, the door is affixed. The crowbar has 10 armor.
So my flesh flowers will be right inside the door, and then I'll continue deeper in. So I'll definitely know if someone enters.
Interesting.
So he's barred the door before we're able to get in.
I don't know you guys are following me.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure that we are not in there with you. So are they with me?
No.
We were following you, so I didn't know if we were behind you or that. So
yeah, there's not a lot of people walking the town, so they can see you from a distance. And they will notice that, but you walk deeper down, and you hear like a kind of like a squelching down in the basement. You walk further deeper, and every single step that you move down, there's a creak, one that kind of echoes throughout the house. You round the corner down below, and you find a Wee shuffled up into the corner, seemingly unresponsive yet there.
Have I made it to any animated flesh yet, or is all the flesh receded back to him?
A lot of the flesh is receded back to him.
Okay. I will. I'll come down with no particular hurry. Come down the last of the stairs and make my way closer. Sorrowful, on reflex, a sorrowful, mournful melody will come off of the violin, and is the rain still hitting me inside of the house?
Perceivably? Strangely, oddly, yes.
Okay, I figured. I'll call out and say, do you feel the rain?
There is a white glow within the many eyes of this drained husk.
It is a cold day this day, my fellow flower. My mind is bursting.
A cold day and the rain falls. The gardens, they are in disarray, are they not?
There is no more garden. It has been cold. Fairly soon this town shall fall.
You do not seem fine yourself, friend.
What does Boris know of Bloom as far as, like, I understand he's in a feeble or dying state, but does Boris know if there's, like, similar to, like, a blood transfusion for Bloom? It could...
Yeah.
Just flesh, or...
Yeah. Different variations of blooms thrive in different ways, and even like some that come from like different areas of the world have interesting properties that you haven't really quite seen before. But blood transfusion is a thing. You sustain yourself off of bodies, you sustain yourself off of corpses. To give life is to sustain life. Even more easier with a bloom. He is very weakened, and you see that there's only certain portions of himself that is able to kind of shift around his upper torso. Every other part of him has kind of entered a state of necrosis, a husking of sorts, as his flesh begins to die. He isn't exactly talking right now. There's some quality about yourself ever since that one event. You can see spirits in a sense, and there is some aspect of him that is breaching forth and speaking for him, though he doesn't seem to realize it. His corpse, at least of what is still kind of there, is still kind of there. You see there's a couple of sigils that are carved into his body, and they seem to be glowing. His spirit kind of still attached.
With that, do I know the body itself is dead?
You could surmise that it's either dead or in a weird semi-state of death and undeath.
Gotcha. I will... Yeah, well, that definitely changes things. I will tell him, yes, the Fae did not treat us the kindest in our search for a cure, a fertilizer for our garden. I see while I was away that your rose bed was trampled. Let me tell you that he will avenge you or join you wherever we go next. I'll pull a tendril and pull one of the fleshy flowers out of the trail behind me and lay it onto his upper torso. And then with the music kind of matching my cadence, I'll begin to recite the rites that Warren taught me back in the graveyard.
You notice as you start to recite this, there's a beating that you hear. Bum 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 bum. The body begins to cease its movement. You see this spectral version of Wee start to try to branch through his body. And before he goes out, he looks towards you with a smile, a look of bliss. And as he steps forth, he looks to his right and he sees, as you see, a split within the fabric of reality. And before he's able to even take a step towards it, this seal closes. His arms are bound. A blackened tether leaches down from the sky and stabs him through the back. You see his body junted up towards the heavens, now centralized in the center of the room, his husk being pulled separately as his spectral form is ripped. And very slowly you see this leak through the ceiling as it drifts somewhere. His husk collapses to the floor.
I'll see this knowing there's nothing else I could have done, and I'll run a tendrilled foot over top of his corpse, what they're left in, and grow a garden once more for him to enjoy in the afterlife, knowing that he did not make it there. And then with that, the music will slow to a stop again, and I'll begin to follow my rose garden back up the stairs.
You trace up the stairs and you notice that there is something. You're not really quite sure as to why you didn't see it before. But like as you're kind of walking up, you're noticing that there are arrows written in blood. And it's kind of tracing up the stairs. You can see another one at the end of the hall that you wouldn't be able to naturally see unless you were kind of walking up the stairs, looking at the opposite wall. It's telling you to move to the right. The more that you do, it seems to be traveling around the interior of his office.
I'll continue to follow.
You will eventually come to a room. The rest of the party, you now arrive at Wee's office. The door is closed.
I reach forward to try to open it.
Doesn't seem to have any purchase. You hear a rattling on the opposing side. Wyatt, you feel a vibration. Something within your mind tells you that something's here.
That's strange.
Can I roll another discernment?
Roll discernment.
I have a fear. Okay, so hold on. Yeah, so this discernment is for general area. I'm not sure if charm proficiency works for that, but there's a curiosity. I would assume that we'd see what's going on around the town, right? That there's not...
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too.
Yeah, I'd assume that... But
you see that there is no one around here.
That scares me.
You didn't greased up guy?
Did we see the stuff in the sky?
Yeah, what about greased up deaf guy? Greased up deaf
there
guy
is
in
no
there?
greased up deaf guy, unfortunately. He might be
Never been a
somewhere.
greased up deaf guy. There's always
Never
been a
been.
greased
He's
up
probably
guy.
still in that shop touching all the candy.
I will say, this probably happens maybe about a minute before you actually reach Wee's house, because I did want to cover this. You look down to find a high-quality bottle of noble Grecian make, a high-quality form of wine. This had been used previously to hold a vintage Blackroot ale. Within it, it is likened to a vessel. There's a perfectly placed turd on the interior of the bottle, and outside of the glass exterior is a note.
What, okay.
You're telling me
A
that.
turd?
What's his name from the very beginning? Shit. The guy that threw.
Guy.
Yeah, the guy in
The message reads.
Yes,
The message is very
Tom.
crudely written on top of it, but it reads, "To the mucker whoreson or daughter that this message shall find, I hope this message finds you well. Go fuck yourself. And your kin. Love, Tom. P.S. Throw this at someone. Waste not, want not."
Fucking Tom. Fucking goddamn Tom.
I don't know what this bottle says, but it's got to be from Tom. He's the only one that put shit in the bottle.
The nameless one kind of like waves to like show them the note. And then
Yeah,
if you do-
there's something on it.
if you show the nameless one the note, the nameless one will chuckle.
I'll look at it, shake my head, and say, "It's from Tom. It says fuck you."
The nameless one
Well,
writes down.
fuck you too, Tom. How dare you say fuck me?
The nameless one writes down in the journal, "Who the fuck is Tom?" Who the fuck is Tom?
I can't
Why is he
believe Tom
telling us
said
to
fuck
fuck
me to me.
ourselves?
I don't know what I ever did to Tom, but I'm not gonna be happy without him.
He didn't like me. Belay that. What's... I don't like what's happening here.
There's nobody around, and I don't like that. There's usually orphans or other things just running around, and I don't hear anything.
You
I
said
don't
this is
see
around nighttime-ish.
Around 5, 6, maybe?
It's
The nameless
afternoon,
one
something, but
points
it's like
up to like the rooftops and then points at
sky.
themselves.
Oh,
And then makes kind of a hand motion above their eyes and then turns their head. So they like holding their hand above their eyes and turning their head, and then points back down. If anybody would like to try
I'm
to
not-
translate that.
I'm not good at this
Oh,
game.
God.
Just write it down and tell the vicar.
I'll nod and say, "Yes, go see what you can find."
Is that what they were asking? Oh, okay.
The nameless one is going to go on an adventure. But before they
Have
go on an
fun.
adventure, they're going to. What? Huh? Yeah, the nameless one is going on the rooftops. Yeah.
The party will trail on. You will indeed find a door that is partially locked. You do hear jingling on the other side. Nameless one, and this time you do crawl up to the ceilings. What you see within the overcast sky is an amassing of blackened smoke, which seems to be trailing further inwards towards some section of the town. The closer that you might get, you will hear a very light scream, very light form of screams. It's hard to tell because the wind is blowing towards that direction, not against.
Oh, the nameless one wants to get closer to figure out the screams.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I have my hand, right? My hand of bullshit.
You do have a hand of bullshit.
Yeah, I have a hand of bullshit. And if I snap the finger, if I remember correctly, this turns me invisible.
This does turn you invisible.
We're getting closer. We're getting fucking closer.
You Let me open this. Let me scroll down.
Well, that's the last time we've seen them name this one.
Characters.
I'll smack Warren in his chest.
Come on now. They just disappeared in front of our eyes. Of course it's the last time we're going to see him. If they can turn invisible, why would they ever be visible?
How fast can you move? Is it 80 feet?
It's 60 feet. Inherent. Oh, wait, no. Because right now, actually, let me drink a blood vial. And then right now, it would be an extra 10, I think, right? Because it's +5 per modifier on Dex.
Yes.
Yeah, so an extra 10, so 70 feet.
Okay, that'll definitely help out. This will probably be about 3 minutes, maybe 5. Will you be sprinting?
I don't see why not. I'm invisible. I'm on the roofs. Okay. It sounds perfect.
I want to say that's about 10 stamina per use or something like that.
Okay. Let's see here.
We'll chalk this up to, because I think you can actually do an actual thing of math, but I can say that you can burn 20 stamina to get there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Less than what it would probably be, but all right.
It's fine. I can do.
Wow. Okay. Oh boy.
Arrive.
What the
here?
What's happening here?
You arrive here, and what you fucking see is a bunch of debauchery. You are seeing from every single wall, every goddamn wall. If people are not scattered forth in the streets, dismembered, their heads are nailed to the ceilings, these roofs of sorts. People laid and splayed upon hooks, people skinned alive. You see and hear screams coming from this area over here. And as you're maneuvering past enemies, you see within this massive crowd of individuals, there is a feast. This man, which seems quite similar to the guard that you guys found a long time ago, a leader that helped you with a skirmish of an angry mob, his legs currently chopped off and being dangled in front of him as people laugh, his comrades being feasted on by all of these individuals. They look to be like mercenaries, though you're not exactly sure. Half of them are mutated, half of them aren't. There's a lot of shit going on, including fire that is burning ever still. And with that, we return to Wyatt. You're in a room right now, Wyatt. This room that used to belong to we. And what you find
I'm in the we.
is you are in the we room. What you find is a man that is tied up to a wall with his bottom jaw removed. He has no tongue, and he is affixed, nailed like a post. And next to him are multiple letters that are driven into the wall. Funny little symbols that you are unable to read, but that say something for sure. They look like the funny little letters that... He does seem alive. In fact, the more that you look at him, he's partially disemboweled. He is stabbed multitudes of times, but he seems kind of unfazed. He's looking at you.
I can't read the letters on the wall. Man in front of me, disemboweled, tongue and lower jaw removed. I will part the top part of my leaves, and the grotesque face that normally sits inside the bush will rise up out of it. The far more looking like a bloom at that point, and I'll say, blink twice for yes, blink thrice for no. Are you supposed to be here?
He blinks 3 times. His cheeks are widening.
Does we want you here?
Kind of squints. He doesn't blink at all. He just kind of looks at you.
Are you dying?
His smile grows wider. You'll see these patches of flesh, this internal red flap, just kind of like move out of his esophagus and just kind of flap down, blood ever dripping. He blinks twice.
And he's completely affixed, right? His arms and everything are completely...
Yeah, it seems like the joints have been lacerated, and then even then, there are multiple like nails that are driven into his appendages, his arms within the radius and ulna.
Okay. Fucking yes, no questions, and deriving as much information as I can before this man dies.
Oh no, he said that he's not currently dying. Twice for no, thrice for yes.
Flipped.
Oh, flipped.
We can keep it that way. Two for no. Okay, so yes, he's supposed to be there.
He is supposed to be there, yes.
Okay, yeah. And he is not dying.
Does not seem to be.
Okay. I'll ask, did you attack we?
He smiles wider.
How can he smile? He doesn't have a jaw.
Well, the upper half.
The upper half.
Mm-hmm.
All your smiling muscles are in your cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure.
I'm sure it doesn't look pretty.
No. Which is why I said, like, the first time, it's like as soon as he started smiling, the flexing of certain muscles caused others to shift and blood to kind of profusely spur forth.
Okay.
The rest of the party, the door is locked. And you hear a rattling.
Boys! Hey! Guys! Hello? Stop trying to lock the door! Come on, open door policy, you know that
He can or can't hear it, doesn't matter, he will not respond. Boris will raise his violin above the bushes and say, life is something to cherish, and an indomitable curse. Answer me true. No games, or I'll leave you here in worse shape than I found you. Does he react at all to that?
He seems very eager. He seems very eager. He doesn't... You can tell he's enjoying this.
Now, I'll ask my previous question again. Did you attack we?
His eyes kind of dart up towards the left and then move back to you. He shakes his head multiple times.
Your eyes. Blink with your eyes.
He'll blink thrice.
Yes, he did attack we. Okay. And does he look like the guy that we fought at the graveyard? I assume not, but I just had to
Doesn't
ask.
seem to be. Doesn't seem to be.
I'll ask him. Shit, dude's not dying. He's disemboweled. He's been lacerated multiple times. He did attack so that's the threat. That's all I got. I can get my tendrils all up in there, but that's all I got other than that.
Going back to the party, who is now outside the door, you find that there is no response. The door is closed.
He never locks the door. What the hell's going on here? But, Esmond, do we want to break the door down? Do we want to look for the child while we wait for Boris to get done?
I'm assuming that we see how the house is decrepit, more decrepit than last time, right?
Yes.
Esna turns to Warren, and we're still exhausted from the fight with the Leshy. We haven't rested, yes?
You have not rested, yeah, no. You guys have not had the chance.
I'll say with Ernest, with Ernest to Warren. Warren, look at the door, look at this house. Kick down that door. Nothing is right now.
Oh, kick it down. Okay.
Has a armor score of 5.
Cool. What is it? So would I roll melee?
No. It has an AL of 0 since it's an inanimate object, so you can guaranteed strike it.
Yeah, but would I roll damage of like a pugilistic fight since I'm kicking it down?
Sure. The main concern is break, because you're trying to break.
Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna will it open, Ty.
You convert your damage into break, and you find that the door splinters open. It folds like fucking Jack from fucking The Shining. Your cleave cleaves through and parts the doors to the side. It kind of gets forced off of its hinges. You notice that it still kind of stands ever so a little bit affixed. Because there seems to be a bar that is kind of holding to the walls and also technically the door. So
the bar.
That crowbar, which can allow the removal of the actual door proper, has a armor score of 10.
Cool. Can I just take it off since I can reach inside?
Roll me a 1d2 to not cut yourself.
Okay.
2, you succeed.
D2. Okay.
You will indeed reach around carefully. The wood did not splinter too bad, and you are able to go to the sections that will not cleave into your shoulder.
Ooh, if it cleaved into my shoulder, Ty, it would have broken from the fucking. It's close.
It's the armpit you gotta watch out for. That's where all them good old arteries are.
Yeah.
Good old.
All right. Let me get it. Just move it from the door so that we can open the door.
You guys find that the environment is there's floating dust, decayed flesh, and a silence. And you, Boris, you feel and a red carpet. That seems to be leading deeper down into the basement. You, Boris.
Really, it's a bunch of corpse flowers. You would have seen them from.
Yeah.
You, Boris, are located on the floor slightly up above. That is to the right or to the left, whereas the party would go to the right if you're walking through the door. But you do feel that people are passing through.
Boris!
Do I roll? Will I just hear that, or should I roll?
Oh no, you can hear. Yeah, it's.
Boris, are you in here?
I'll make a quick sharp sound on my violin and shout back, Warren, I need you.
Oh, okay. I guess. I'm guessing I heard where the sound came from, so I can kind of figure out where to go.
And there's a trail.
Oh, there's a trail. That makes sense. Oh, this way. All right. I'll walk up the stairs or wherever he is to get to him.
You will eventually track him and find him. And you'll find a man affixed to a wall.
Okay. Did you kill this man?
No.
He's
But
alive?
He attacked We. We has moved on.
Oh. And what did you... I think I know the answer, but what did you need me for?
I need your help to hurt him. And I assume I feel Esna coming up behind me as well.
Esna will
I'm
most
staying
likely
outside.
join as well.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I will. Hold on. I'll stay outside unless I'm needed because I'm waiting for the nameless one.
Gotcha. He'll continue. Boris will say, I need you to hurt him. And I need Esna to help me find out what he knows and maybe heal him.
Warren, you know that this is... shit, Boris. I am just a figment of your imagination. Boris, you know that this isn't something that I do, right? I don't just hurt people for no reason. I understand that he attacked We and that... was he the one that killed We? Do you know that?
You'll notice too that Boris is not as nice to look at right now since he's like outside of the bush. And the head will creak to the side and look back over towards the man on the wall and say, did you have accomplices?
He'll say yes as he blinks thrice.
The head will creak back over to you and say, he was one of more, but he was one. Would you not hurt those who hurt your friends or your family?
I would. I can't say that I wouldn't. I've dreamt of hurting the people that have hurt my family before, so... All right.
The man that is affixed currently to the wall begins to kind of gyrate. He's kind of like moving up and down. There's a lot of breath coming out of his esophagus, a form of hyperventilation. He seems to be smiling.
Okay. What kind of hurt do you want me to do to him?
Nothing yet. Wait.
Okay.
We need Esna. I don't know what to ask or the best way to talk to him.
Okay.
Now I will because this is Wee's room. I assume it's made out of the same decrepit flesh that the rest of the house is made out of, right?
Yes.
Is there any way, as a fellow Bloom, that I can, like, hijack into this? For the time that it's still living enough? Like, plugging into someone else's nervous system?
I really like that.
Are you
And
trying
there's a
to
lot of mechanics that technically support that.
try to deep dive into someone else's like cyberware here?
Nervous
What are you
system?
trying
Yeah,
to
kind of.
I will say...
He's trying to take over this entire thing. He's like, hey, this is mine now.
I don't think I could keep it because it's actively decaying, but...
We as a network, that's horrifying. Fucking meme.
Mommy is sleepy.
So the okay, so we is an elder bloom that is a network spanning multitudes of different towns over thousands of miles. He is something else. You will be able to tap into this, however, there will be a unknown sacrifice. This is going to give you untold stress, and for every single round, which will persist after, you will keep on gaining stress. You were able to surmise this. Your mind could break under such weight. Would you be okay with this?
And there's no way for me to, because I don't need, is there any way for me to cull the garden down to only what I need? I just want this building. I know the garden's dying. If I can just cut the vine that leads to the rest of it, stuff I know I can't have or handle.
So unfortunately, it is too expanded out. Okay, and to connect into the network, yeah, and to some degree, you're going to be parsing into we itself. So you're dealing with, that's a lot to process.
I assume it's going to be, if I'm doing this, if I'm risking myself for everything, then I'm going to get more than just the house, and along with that, I don't know if I'd get memories, but I may get senses from other places. So I'll take the roll, and if I have, we didn't rest, did we?
Nope.
What's my current stamina at? Damn. Oh, not nearly as bad as I thought it was. Still rough, but I can do a few things. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. You are gonna feel a also. Yeah, sure. They could jump in. Why not? I'm not sure. Hopefully they're caught up.
I'll run my tendrils out of my roots and into the flesh and the floorboards.
Checking it. So you dive in. As soon as your flesh connects, there is a rush of memories, of thoughts. It is incredibly hard to process. There are possibly 20, 50, 1,000 different minds going at once. You try your best to instantly mitigate this by closing off those other forms of consciousness, which try to then invade yours. A synergistic sort of embodiment is now what you are. You are no longer yourself, just yourself as Boris. You are also we. And in this, you get trace memories, residual benefits. You are going to receive 10 daunted level alongside /R1d6 3. You're going to receive 13 daunted level as this flushes you with stress. Every now and again, I will demand of you a grit contest, and should you fail, you're going to receive double the amount of stress that you would get should you fail. What would you like to peer? I could tell you what initially hits you, but are you looking for something specific?
If I can get a brief overview just to kind of tell my options, but my main purpose for this was to simply have one of the mouths next to the door say, "Esna, follow the garden."
You will have one of these mouths speak. The throats very much conforming to your understanding of yourself. We, as it did say we, believed itself not to be a singular entity. It identified itself as a multitude of things and kind of adapted its own body to that of the things that it consumed as it grew into this multitudinous thing. You, as Boris, yourself said that you consider yourself and try to tailor your multitudinous voices into one. And as such, where we had a choice to do the same and chose not to, you find that the voice that does call out to Esna from one of these teeth within the wall reaches out within your voice, asking and beckoning Esna to come within.
Past that.
You see
Past
everything
that. I see
as well.
everything.
You see everything. There's a network of flesh-like tendrils which breach all over the floor. You're not exactly sure how, but every single, similar to like how you have your flesh flowers that kind of adorn the walls and the floor, should something kind of trip over it will give you some form of sensory information. We has developed a heightened form of this as to where they can get sensory forms of information, be it touch, taste, relative forms of temperature. You find that these root networks drift towards areas that are less warm, but it is scattered around through the areas of the city. Even under plant groves, you notice that there are connected networks, these veins of sorts which ruffle underneath the vegetative growth. There is a lot of disturbing things happening within the town. There is a litany of blood being spilled. There's a cacophonous noise which echoes within certain locations. Everyone seems to be hiding. During this, as you're traveling through the network of vines within the town of Flesh, you begin to gain like these residual forms of information. We within his office trying to scour through solutions. You guys are late. You guys were within the Fey realm for well more than a day, and you are able to now glean the perception of time. From what you understand, something is supposed to happen at midnight within 6 hours. So from when we died, perceivably as you're tracing to now, you maybe have 5 hours left, 6 hours left tops. Something is supposed to happen. And as you dig closer towards that residual memory, you begin to understand everything that is going on. The black sheep, whenever he comes to a town, infects it. There is a litany of followers that are upon him. Your eyes trace to the man that is nailed upon the wall, his mouth ever dangling, his eyes tracing yours. As he kind of begins to undulate his body, it's as if he kind of wants something to happen. That begins to make a lot more sense. You kind of pour over the works that are nailed atop the wall kind of close to him, and despite you being illiterate and not able to understand the words that are written upon it, the meaning is very, very simplistic to you now. These creatures, these followers of the black sheep, under whatever ritual they have gone under, they are outside of death itself. Much like him, the hunter of hunters, the one who hunts, they are cursed in a very similar way, where they cannot die by any mortal weapon. Your eyes trace his organs which spill from his body, his tongue non-existent, the flap of residual forms of meat that flicker and fling blood towards your direction. He is plagued to suffer. You look at the endless lacerations and stabbings on his body, something to showcase as we scrambled through his office trying to leave as many clues as possible as he bled out. His last effort to help you guys, should you be able to come back in time. Something is happening with the dying bodies. We isn't even sure of what. His knowledge says that it's something to do with the gray. But the things that are killed are not able to die. They do not stay dead. The rain that you saw up above, the black soot residue, the tendrils which leach through the backs of souls and bring them up towards the heavens. Something is collecting and something is building. An egg of sorts from beyond the gray. You know it's not the yawning grave's doing, but there's something that is about to be born from the collective deaths of all of that which cannot be collected by Lytica herself. And once it gets too high, a calamity. A calamity that we has been worrying about. The same one that plagues every town. The missing link as you look towards the final paper nailed to the wall. every single town is sieged by people after the Black Lamb visits. With enough deaths, something is born. And after that, the culling of a whole entire population. You do not know why he has waited this long to do this to this town. But we seems to think that there's something important about you guys. And what you see as soon as this revelation hits you, you feel a presence. A dark, unholy, fetid stench that radiates from outside the town of Wrothe. This man which now sits upon the soil. You hear him smiling. You hear him laughing. You can taste him. The person that you fought before is waiting for something, in anticipation, almost as if he's waiting to see an outcome. There's a test going, and you're not sure what, but something bad is happening, and should you guys fail, all of Wrothe will fall into ruin. Your mind races through all of these events, and the biggest things hit you. The majority of all the guards slaughtered. Half the population culled. The Black Sheep kept his word. He only killed 200. The people following him, you see these trace forms of conversations of we talking with this individual before he gouged out his mouth. They were let off the leash, where normally they are kept in control by him, tasked by him to supposedly search for wayfarers. They were let off the leash, able to run amok, and their endless hunger towards flesh to feed themselves, the only food source and the only drink to sate their hunger. They are going mad upon the town. And this calamity is escalating faster than any other town had. You have until midnight, until Wrothe falls. The calamity must be stopped. I want you to increase permanently your disc score by 3.
Ooh.
Give me a grit contest. The CD is 4.
The CD is 4. Well, I have a minus
Still have a -5 modifier.
I will. How much stamina do I have left?
You got that charmed dice, so too.
14. Oh, I do. I have
Charmed dice.
You're so right. I'm sitting here stressing. I'm charmed dice in that. Yeah.
Fuck yes. Emboldened. All right. You find that there's a crippling weight. You're pulled into this mindscape. Thousands upon thousands of memories, different voices clamoring for attention. You hold the spotlight and it's trying to be taken from you. And within that moment, something graces you. You are still here. You can rise above it all. And in this moment, you need to be the one to not fall. You find the resolve to push forward and quell all residual voices, kind of culling all of them into one uniform voice, your voice. You're going to reduce your DL by 6 points and succeed in the next grit contest with no contest.
There you go, Ryan. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot. Now I gotta figure out how to relay that. In the time it takes me to discern all of this, has Esna made it to the room, or did Esna even enter?
Did Esna enter? Yes.
You're muted.
Guessing not?
I
guess I died.
I think they are just dead.
Unfortunate. Someone just walked by outside the house.
Just died.
I couldn't find my phone. I'm sorry.
Wow, Esna's just dead,
yes,
guys. New character.
God damn it. The
Follow
confident
that.
Boris's voice was too powerful and I had to leave. No, yes, I do go in.
Are they gonna be there by the time I'm done perceiving the we?
Yeah. This is all happening instantaneously.
Gotcha.
It might seem like it's persisting over time, but just like your dreams and any time that you kind of think to yourself, you encapsulate in multitudes. You literally contain multitudes. So all of this is happening instantaneously to you.
I will crook my head to the side, and when my flesh moves, it sounds like trees moving. So whenever I move my head too fast without moving my body, it sounds like wood splitting. And I'll look over to Warren and Esna as Esna comes in the door and say, I have glimpsed through Wee's remaining garden, and there are buds of violence throughout the city. There is so much death. There is so much blood. The souls are being taken into the incubator in the sky. And he is standing outside the city, waiting for something. Waiting for us. If we do not, then we will all die. If we do, we might all die.
So it's a lose-lose kind of situation, it feels like.
I feel as though no one is going to be happier when the sun rises next morn.
All right. So, do we still want to hurt this guy?
With that, I'll
He starts like moving his hips in gyrations, just ready for whatever's coming.
Come on, baby!
with that, I'll dejack out of I'll with hearing the sounds of roots popping out of the ground. I'll pull myself up one leg at a time.
You find whenever we normally interacted with you, the multitudes of mouths inside of the walls, the bodies which clamored through the cracks, you find that all of these things which had this constant form of music, the house feeling alive with the squelchings of undulation, all of these instantly just kind of boom.
As
thud.
I pull my last tendril away, I'll bid him adieu. Thank you, friend. You taught me more about myself than I could ever repay. And pop with the last one as the house dies. I'll creak also as I look over to the man on the wall, and I'll say, he is with him. I have answered my own questions. Do with him as you will, but know he is deathless. An abomination.
Oh, like the hunter.
He is one of the hunter's hounds. He killed we, and now we must kill his master.
I have to say that hearing all this information from Boris, Esna gasped after the I have combined with we, and is now just staring horrified, especially considering the person on the wall. They will shake their head and say, we are much too exhausted after what's happened.
That is another thing, yes. It takes about 4 hours to gain any benefit of rest. It takes 8 hours to gain the full benefits of sleep. Wyatt, I will not tell you exactly what, but your pallor that weakens your form by a -5 modifier with every single stat, that can only be cleansed by going into a church and resting or sleeping, doing the full rest under a church. You don't have the time, nor considering everything that's going on, especially with Benedict, probably not the wisest idea to go to the church right now.
I did not figure so. I'll say yes, but we have but 6 bells before the stroke of midnight. And if we do not finish this task by then, it'll be the stroke of an executioner's axe upon us all.
I'm pretty. I can keep going. I can keep fighting if we need to. If we need to take people out, I can do it. But we need to get moving if we need to stop this now.
I can do what I can. This is what the purveyor warned me about. I have to fulfill my word.
Collect our remainder and let's travel to the gates of the city.
That's a great question about where our remainder is.
This battle shall be our hardest and maybe our last.
So wait, just so I'm clear, are we going to fight the hunter, or are we going to fight the group
The hunter, yeah. No,
Okay.
we're fighting the hunter because there's, I mean,
There's a lot of death potential in these decisions.
So my first question is, I was told to go get something to help what's happening to the town, and now I have the Leshy's heart. Do we go to the fight, or was I?
You guys could leave the whole entire town should you want. Like it's
Oh no!
what you guys want to do is
Right? Or should the
you can do anything.
We could just fuck all these people over.
Do I know if we go to the fight first, or we go to the purveyor because we have achieved the heart, and the purveyor knew there was something that could be done?
What is going on is that you are far flung into the future. You know that you have about 6 hours or so until the deadline, and relative to what Framboyo told you, it's been about maybe a day and a half or something. Like the 2-day mark is nearing, if that is accurate. You have the heart. It's up to you with what you want to do. Time is precious in all forms of the word. So
Do I know what the heart can do?
yeah, all of you guys do, for the most part.
I don't think I do.
Which
Because like
what is that?
I wasn't with them with the with the one they went to go see Fran.
Oh, true, yeah.
True.
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, so because I think you succeeded on that. Like what you hold in your hand is a battery. Like that can spawn whole entire forests spanning thousands of miles. You guys are currently having a famine. Your fields were poisoned with a very horrible blight. Like starvation was so rampant, like it probably killed a large swath, maybe 10%, 20% of your town by the time that you came back. Like you need to quell the famine. That is a thing that is important. But also there's all this other bullshit that's happening as well. And also, from what Wyatt has just seen, supposedly the Hunter of Hunters is just located outside the town. There's also a bunch of mercenaries on the loose. There's also Benedict. There's a lot of things going on. I even though you have like a lot of discernment, like the answer to whatever you want to do is always up to you. I can only lean you towards things. I can't give you an answer.
I do know that. I just wasn't sure if I knew from what Framboyo said that we had to go to Framboyo first or go fight this guy first.
From what I remember and recall of that conversation, you can handle the tasks in almost any order, but what you do has a cost. Like I will tell you in a meta sense, if you guys went and did what you're doing right now, like we probably would still be alive. A lot of the guardsmen would probably still be alive. A large swath of the town and implications in the future that are going to happen probably wouldn't happen. But vice versa, if you didn't do what you did first, there's another thing that would have happened. Like, there's a cost to everything. There's no right answer.
By what we did, you mean go get the Leshy thing?
Yeah. Time is literally of the essence. There's a multitude of things happening right now. Even something interesting that happened with a side quest that Amryn was supposed to tend to. You guys took a long time, so things happened. It's the nature of things. So I don't want to give you the quote-unquote right answer, because there isn't one. But if you try to ask me what you're trying to inch towards, then I can help guide you.
Yeah, I guess I was confused because I knew the Leshy Heart was going to help the famine, but I thought
yes, it would solve the crisis of the famine.
And I didn't know what we could do in regards to the hunter, other than fight him.
I don't think we can do fucking anything to this because you can't die by mortal means.
You also
I don't think any of us have any immortal weapons or non-mortal weapons right now.
What are you talking
degree.
about? What are you doing? Literally all my weapons are dying.
Yeah, but you couldn't do shit to him before.
I was the only one
I
able to
know
do
that,
stuff to him, though. From
Okay,
what I
wait, stop. Let's stop. Let's go.
So I know that there is 6 hours, yes? Because you've said 6, 5, and 4. Is there 6 hours?
You guys don't know the relative scale of time, only Boris does.
He just told us.
Well, you told me
I said 6
knew
spells,
because of
right?
Yeah, you said 6 spells. So you said 6 hours objectively.
Okay. And I believe I was told by Framboyo the deadline as well, so I know it's like 6 hours.
Yeah, like, I didn't know if Boris told you because you took a little bit to respond to, like, get up during the conversation.
Yeah.
But as far as, like, yeah, you know the deadline is 2 days. What you didn't know, if Boris didn't tell you anything, was how close to the 2-day mark are you at right now?
Okay, so I'll kind of look towards my satchel where the Leshy Heart is, thinking, and then look to Boris and say, do you know how long we were away?
The deadline when the incubator hatches is 6 spells from now. I don't know how long we've been away, but I know this town will be no more in 6 spells.
If we have any chance in this, we have to take time to regain ourselves. As terrible as that sounds, we need our best fight.
We don't have time to do. If we only got 6 hours, that's not enough for us to get to our best. We can get close.
No, we can't sleep, but we can rest as best we can.
Also, I don't think we can go fight the hunter just yet. I think we need to stop what's going on in this town. If there's mercenaries everywhere attacking folks or killing things, anybody that's still alive, we need to stop that. And then we can deal with the hunter.
Actively, that is happening in the next 4 hours. It's only going to escalate.
Yeah.
What do you all suggest we do first? We can't put up much of a fight as we are now.
I feel like we need to stop the massacre that's happening in the city, or the town.
Isn't the massacre attached to the hunter?
It's attached to the calamity, from what I'm understanding from Boris's retelling. If that happens, then it doesn't matter if we stop the hunter. It doesn't matter if we put the Leshy Heart back in the ground. Everything in this area will die. Us included. Everything that is not part of this massacre, within miles, will die. I think we need to stop the massacre from happening so that no more souls go into the egg, as Boris keeps saying them.
It's the incubator that has a 6-hour mark. It's the mercenaries that have the 6-hour toll. Do they not? And I'll look to Boris.
Boris's eyes will kind of grow wide as you see him kind of thinking a different route, because all he had thought was the linchpin of this is the hunter. Go ahead, Ty.
The spawn of... Yeah?
I thought, out of game, I thought we all said that the mercenaries were followers of the hunter, and so we take out the hunter, we take out the mercenaries.
Boris
Maybe,
just...
but probably not.
And Boris just said that he, that the hunter was outside, and he was the mastermind, and all he cares about is trying to kill him, hell or high water, out of game. So.
Yeah, in a meta sense, I can't reveal too much. I can't give any answers. I have led a couple clues into like the different ways that they are connected to him. You know about the marks, the runes that are kind of like lapped upon every single one of them, glowing with a similar resonance. So to some degree, somehow this was inscribed upon them one way or another.
But you said they're also
they are
off the leash.
cursed.
Yeah, you said they're also off
They
the
are
leash,
off the
and
leash.
that they're cursed.
From the hunter.
Yep.
Yes, from the hunter. But that means that the hunter's cursed, because curses just don't simply go away, from what I understand, even if the hunter dies.
You guys have been told about the nature of the Death Knights. Like curses maintain. It's not necessarily going to go away. It could. There's definitely some that do.
Yeah. So
but even like the idea of a werewolf, it's...
Yeah. So they're still shimming out the rods on this nuclear reactor that's about to blow. And we're going to go, like, if we go fight the hunter, that solves one problem, but it puts us significantly closer to another problem with them still putting this in a very, very interesting position of whatever the hell is going to be born is going to be born. And that is what I think is what the hunter wants us to do, is to go fight him. Right.
I think the hunter wants us to stop what's happening.
Yeah.
To show that we can stop a calamity.
Want much.
Yeah,
I'm smiling so hard right now.
If we can stop a calamity from happening, because if we can stop something from happening, then we are closer to being able to kill him at some point in the future.
Okay, either that or he's a very, very, very sadomasochistic person, and he's getting a hard-on from watching us fight all these people. All right, that could be a possibility.
I mean, he already is doing that.
Yeah.
He already is doing that. That's why all this is happening.
But, I mean, the nameless one.
I understand
right now,
better out of character now. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes. But we shall jump back to in a second. Do you guys have an accord? Do you know what your direction is?
I'll look to Boris and think and say, what do you think? Shall we follow his plan and fight every murderer we see until we make our way to the fish's head? Shall we not rest?
What all does a 4-hour rest get you?
Not much. I think it gives you about 20% health, and that's about it. It doesn't cleanse you of anything. And stamina, yeah.
Better than
I
nothing.
can look up exactly what it does.
Does it restore any aether or anything like that?
I believe it also restores a little bit of aether.
Because I have 6. Well, I'm not. I can't. Meta-wise, I have very little aether.
And I'm running on fumes for stamina.
I'm running on fumes for stamina. Well, actually, not on fumes for stamina. 50% of my stamina is gone, and then like 60% of my health is gone. So
you guys will not be able to get the benefits from well rested. And I will also say, because you will be resting, you're going to be getting poor sleep. So you're going to be receiving a -1 modifier on everything that you do. But a nap consists of 4 minimum hours. Upon resting for 4 hours, the party will regenerate 10% of their maximum THP and Aether Reserve. The nap cannot grant well rested. And if you're going a sleepless night, you will gain 20% exhaustion for staying up, which will have a similar effect to what Esna has, where it caps off some of your accessible stamina by 20%.
That Esna has or Boris has?
Esna has a similar thing with her penance, but it affects her Aether Reserve as opposed to anytime she uses Martyr's Lament, it flees up the rounded off sections of her Aether.
Okay. I don't think we have time. I understand that we're all tired, but I don't think we have time to rest.
You don't need to say much to convince me. I know people are dying actively, and if I'm outspoken, then I will abide.
I'm, to be brutally honest, I'm still raring to go.
I can still swing my sensor, but I will not be able to assist any of you beyond that.
That's okay. I gotta say, digging graves takes a lot of stamina. I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm pretty fucking topped up. Crazy.
Boris, can you still play your violin with vigor?
Nothing past my melody. I have nothing left. I am but a vestige of what I once was. By that I mean I've got 11 total hit points and 14 stamina.
Hey, you're doing great.
I have, okay, out of character, I have 6 Aether. It will hurt me, but I can heal you guys.
Okay.
You mind your forced contest will accrue sanity, negative sanity. If you reach negative 10 via casting like that, you're gonna get hysteria.
Okay.
So just be careful.
I believe I can still imbue my sensor. Out of character, I can still imbue my sensor, and so I'm pretty sure when I lament, I will be able to heal you guys as I do that. And anytime I hit someone, in character, Esna will hold their sensor and look to the two of you and say, I have spent the last of the last of the Maker's praise. The last of the Maker's adoration, and placed it into my sensor here. Every life I take will bring you, the two of you, more strength. But that is all I can do.
There is another type of forced casting that you can do that without your manuscript, and it will do forced patron casting. Basically, you can do any vicar ability that you want. The cost will be just flat out 20% of your health, just nuked.
Oh my god. But that's it?
That is it, yeah.
20% of my health. Will I be
It's either 25% or 75%.
Will I be able to gain that health back, or is it permanent?
Patron casting.
I was
right.
If we're talking about trump cards, I put up the handbag that I got. I got this. I don't know exactly what it does, but it's a hand of sin.
Sorry.
Apophis? What are you doing here?
We could use you right now.
Wow, Apophis.
Esna's gonna look to the man at the wall, and emotion will sort of kind of trickle away. Like, she'll go from fear and concern, and it will harden into the vicar, like the vicar attitude that you guys know, the pristine, clean look. trained and look to the two of you and say, is this one needed anymore?
Not that I know of.
I'll look to Boris.
He is deathless. I need not for him anymore. I've seen through Wee's eyes.
Ty, I'm gonna hit him with my holy sensor and see if it heals these two.
How much damage are you doing?
I know my sensor does 6 damage. I don't know if it does it do more than that.
Roll it off your sheet.
Please. And then
I think it does 6
let me look at.
damage and 6 holy because of the.
Plus,
Is he undead, fey, or ghost?
he is undead.
Ah,
6, 7, 8, 8. 4 of that is holy. Technically,
Well, not all of
8.
it. All of it is holy because of imbued sensor, which locked off the last of my 8.
Oh, imbued is half, converts half into holy, I believe.
I will. Okay, I'll
Should be
double.
physical
I'll
slash
look at
holy.
it in a second. I thought it was.
But
Sorry.
you bring your sensor up. The you're doing 8 healing is going out to your allies, by the way.
Lovely.
There is a smash that arrives in the side of his neck, his head jutted to the side. You find that he smiles, but that smile quickly fades. You find that there's a radiant form of light which begins to peer through his eyes and his mouth. The esophagus, which is rended open, begins to shine like a light bulb. This radiant mass begins to corrode from the interior, and you see his outward flesh begin to turn to a gray, then white pallor. He then falls into dust.
As he's breaking down, Boris will ask, "Does it hurt? Does it hurt?"
He looks like he's feeling bliss.
Damn. Okay. Oh, so we get healed 8 damage. Awesome.
Well,
It does do-
my max.
So imbued sensor does say it does impact / holy. It converts damage to impact / holy. So it is 4 and 4.
Yeah, it's okay.
4 and 4, technically 12, since 4 is then converted into 8 due to weakness, and then that 8 plus the 4 physical damage is a total of 12 physical damage, or 12 damage as a whole. 4 physical, 8 holy.
Esna will look to the other two and say, this effect on my sensor will only last for 4 hours.
That's gotta be enough.
And it seems to work.
And let's have foot and get out of here.
We need
You
to find the
guys-
nameless one.
Let's boot, scoot, and boogie. Come on.
You guys, before we trail back to the nameless one, Boris, you're gonna notice that the sky, the further that you drift forward, there are tethers, a raiment of bodies just kind of floating above the town. Hundreds. And as you get closer towards that gigantic orb in the sky, there is a form of humming resonance, a cry of thousands. You guys now drift closer towards the epicenter of the cataclysm. And as for fucking nameless one, we shall pick up next time on Harvest, where you have maybe 10 rounds, 15 rounds. I'll roll for it. You have a certain amount of rounds before the party can meet you. Shit will be popping off.
I guess I didn't explain. After I would have seen all this, I would have left.
Okay, then you leave.
You're on your way.
Oh no, it felt like an awful long time that I was away.